Okay, this is DragonofEternity and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, patch 6.15 content. In the last video, I started the Omega Beyond the Rift questline. So I went through the first quest, I brought Omega to radz-at-han in order to talk to the locals about Heart. Yeah, I don't know why he's still trying to understand this, seeing as his planet got destroyed, but yeah, I guess we're going through with this. So, we've got a... Oh, as I get up, we've got a second quest. We have goodbye, whatever those symbols are. Omega has selected a new destination. Question mark, question mark, question mark as reward. Our next destination will be Camp Broken Glass. I desire elaboration on the dealings between the Ilsbard contingent and the citizens of Golomald. The report described the contingent's purpose as the salvation of the local populace. Furthermore, both factions faced a common enemy in the Telophoroi. Why did they not immediately combine forces to their mutual benefit? This inconsistency requires closer examination. Marashna, initiate teleportation. Aye aye. I'm just a teleporting machine to him, aren't I? Well, that explains how he gets to the moon. Now. Well, it loads. There we go. That took a bit. You alright, buddy? Okay, you're cold. Teleportation successful. Evaluating immediate environs. A cold weather region by Epheris standards, but significantly less extreme than a star with ice planet classification. This body should not be unduly impeded. In contrast to Alpha and his uncontrollable shivering, my frame appears to be highly resistant to low temperatures. Retrieving data. Records indicate that remnants of the contingent force and a number of Imperial citizens yet inhabit this location. We must speak with representatives from both factions and explore their respective altitudes, or attitudes even. Blip, proceed. And now accompanying you. Anyway, I can take them to talk? No. Alright. Resistance Delegate. Hello. Marashna, come to see how things are progressing, have you? I can't speak for the overall strategy, but communication with the locals has become a damn sight easier since Julius and his soldiers stepped in to help. Oh, we still face our fair share of distrust, of course. Some folk even think we're enslaving minds with our foreign magic. We have Anima to thank for putting that idea in their heads. But all things considered, I'd say we're doing pretty well. Establishing an open dialogue was the first big step. Query: you consider this level of progress acceptable? The reality of your efforts falls far short of the ideal. If your aim is to provide efficient succor to the local populace, then absorbing their numbers into your command structure would be the optimal path. Oh, I wouldn't want to go that far. We're not looking to take over the nation. If we're to do this the right way, we need to recognize and respect each other's way of life. So while it may not be the easiest solution, I agree with the contingent's slow and steady approach. I'm just happy we're saving lives. Alright. I recommend you move at a brisk pace. The exertion will raise your body temperature, preventing you and Alpha from freezing to death. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Alright, so that's a resistance member talked to. So now a Garlean member. Emaciated refugee. A shadow from the past. Yes, I know you from Victor's Spoils. Have you come to laugh at me? A wretch who chose to lose Licinia and her sister rather than accept your help. The fool who ended up reliant on your charity nonetheless. Well, perhaps I deserve your derision. My compatriots surely scorn my failed conviction. I have shamed my people and brought dishonor upon my nation. I am no better than a kept beast, my pride sold for a bowl of feed. But my soul, nay, that you shall never have. I've refused your honeyed offers of a new home. This land is where I belong, and this is where I shall remain. Blip, you demonstrate opposition to the contingent's overtures. On what basis do you refuse this cooperation? The data suggests the local populace is struggling to produce the bare minimum of sustenance. Have you some secret strategy for survival? Or do your orders compel you to accept your present misfortune? What? Must I be mocked by a Magitech toy now? No, I have no secret strategy, no binding orders. But I but comport myself as any true Gaulian patriot would. Uncompromising, unbending. Blast it all. Once again, this input is unanticipated. Let us move aside and process what we have heard. There is naught for me here, I know this, but if I surrender my homeland, then what was it all for? Can I talk to that guy as well? They are... oh. No, that was me. Alright. No, this was the guy that gave Julius the... what was it? The soup? Yeah, I think it was the soup. I'm only me again, but I'm also Imperial conscript until not so long ago. I was lucky enough to have a decent commanding officer. Many Gaulians treated provincials like we were less than people. On the other hand, they were all me go, don't think much of us either. I guess that's my roundabout way of saying I'm surprised this contingent was even formed in the first place. I feel fortunate to be part of it. Alright. Hey? Must be a hunt train going. Yeah, it makes sense. It's Tuesday, so they'll be looking for the A ranks and S ranks. I think they found one. Yeah, they're on the move. Accessing and analyzing recorded data. Integration complete. I have evaluated this most recent input and made comparisons to our discoveries in radz-at-han. Consistent only in their inconsistency, the responses from both contingent member and Imperial citizen were highly irrational. Conversely, any Omicron considering their predicaments would have echoed my assessment exactly. The divergence from self-evident logic is key. Hypothesis. The illogical relationship between would-be saviors and suffering populace is another result of the unpredictable nature of mortal hearts. Yeah. Blip. Any property or ability has inherent advantages and disadvantages. Yet never have I encountered such a unique detriment. It appears that those who share your metaphysical capabilities are prone to complicating simple cognitive processes. An undesirable quality. I will, however, persist in furthering my understanding of the subject. Query. Prior to formulating our next step, I wish to know, who is this Licinia the Imperial mentioned? Oh. You're just making me remember every death, aren't you? You really are. Acknowledged. To summarize, insufficient data on foreign culture resulted in inadvisable and ultimately fatal action. I witnessed such self-destructive behaviour during the course of our planetary conquests. Overwhelmed enemy forces would voluntarily withdraw into perilous regions, leading to a succession of inevitable losses. Tangential data request. I wish to learn about burial customs. The practice has ever seemed nonsensical, but new data suggests it arises from the same source as your cognitive complications. Take me to this Lasinia's burial site. It may aid me in bloop bloop. Oh. Energy delivery systems compromised. Core temperature critically low. Bleep. Warning. Immediate heat required. Request. Apply friction to outer frame. Rub warmth back into Omega's frame. Is this like symbolic? You know, I could take you to the fire. Bloop bloop. Temperature nominal. Energy levels stabilizing. The creators of this model must have experienced impaired cognitive reasoning during the design process. Upon a return, I will request additional climate shielding, as well as an accurate temperature sensor array. This will not affect my combat capabilities, but should improve my basic survival rate. Reconfirming sub-destination. In which direction will we find Victor's spoils? Blip acknowledged. Alpha, you are to remain in close proximity, close enough to envelop me in your feathers. You are permitted to carry me on your back, if you so choose. Okie dokie. When I'll see the hunt train. Oh, I doubt it. Would be nice to help them repair. But I doubt the zone's going to get changed in any way. Yep, it's the time bubble effect. Alright, Victor spoils right up ahead. Okay, notice Alpha might need to do a little edit for travelling and interruptions. Alright, Alpha. I said Alpha. Quay. Alright, Omega talking time. You wanted to visit the grave, right? Blip. A deceptively deep snowdrift almost defeated me, but we have successfully arrived at the location you indicated. I just thought I could probably take you two to the first. Blip. Caution advised. An unknown individual appears to be investigating the object of my interest. You're Eorze's champion, aren't you? Marishna Grandini? Yes. Are you related to Licinia? Oh, I never introduced myself, did I? I am Manius, soldier of the First Legion, and comrade of Julius. Perhaps you remember me from Tertium. We spoke about collecting ceruleum, and again later on, after Lord Quintus had shot himself in the head. Oh yeah, you were filling up the Magitech instead of, providing it for fire. Manius, explanation requested. What is the reason for your presence here? That must be the tiniest Magitech weapon no, it's just an oddly shaped communicator, isn't it? In any case, I have nothing worthy to report. I heard that the sisters who used to live in my sector were buried here, so I thought I'd come and pay my respects. Ugh. Alphino and Arce told me the story, complete with profuse apologies, though they were adamant that no amount of remorse could erase the tragedy of what came to pass. Not that my fellow soldiers and I are in any place to judge. We were manipulated, fooled into starting an insurrection which led to countless deaths among our own countrymen. Objection. The casualties incurred through your infighting are distinct from those caused by the Iltsabad contingent. To restate, you are justified in seeking restitution from the contingent for causing the deaths of Lucinia and her sister. Retaliation for damages sustained is also a logical progression. I can deduce two reasons why you do not initiate hostilities with Mariash and her allies. 1. You judge your remaining forces too weakened to contend effectively with the contingent. 2. Your emotions are complicating the issue. Tell me, which of these is correct? Well, when you lay it out like that. I'm afraid my answer isn't likely to win me any medals, so would you mind keeping this to yourself? Okay. There's the unspoken thought that we're outmatched on the battlefield, certainly, but the real reason I'm not demanding restitution has little to do with weighing the odds. The simple truth is I'm so caught up with simple survival that I've no strength to spare for past grievances. The same goes for avenging my comrades we lost, be that my brothers-in-arms or Lord Quintus himself. Although it seems everyone has an opinion about the manner of his passing. Some say he should have fought till the end, that he abandoned us to the enemy. Others praise him for taking the full burden of responsibility, and freeing us to walk our own path. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I am inclined to side with the latter. He gave us a choice of freedom, and that's a choice I made. I could cry and rant and rage, but what would be the point? I'll save my energy for worrying about my next meal, my next task. I need to focus on the ones left behind, on making some kind of life for my comrades and me. And if I need to lean on the contingent to do that, then that's what I'll do. Even if the aid comes at a price, I'm willing to pay it. Even against your own, there are times when cooperation demands compromise. What matter that they're outsiders? Besides, I think I could grow to like Alphino and Alice. They reached out to us with kindness and compassion from the very beginning. Oh. Summation, your desire to survive, even should it mean allying with the contingent, was a feeling you already harboured. That your side had committed worse atrocities was the logic you invented later to justify your reasoning. Blunt but accurate, I suppose. The heart is honest about what it wants, even if the mind takes a while to reconcile the decision. Well, this has been oddly cathartic, but I must return to my duties. There are wild beasts to cull, watchfires to light, supplies to transport. Even without an emperor, there's no rest for an imperial. Be well and stay safe. Dare I ask what cathartic means? I've heard it a bunch of times, but I just don't know the meaning. Blip. Upon review of recent input, I have arrived at an unexpected conclusion. Right, before I go on to the next dialogue, cathartic meaning. Providing psychological relief through the open expression of strong emotions causing catharsis. Crying is a cathartic release. Number 2. Medicine. Purgative. Noun. A purgative drug. What does it mean to feel cathartic? Is an emotional release. Alright, so it's like post-crying or post something else. Upon review of recent input, I have arrived at an unexpected conclusion. I have been formulating my assessments on the premise that it was man who commanded the strength of his heart, but the data suggests the opposite is true. The surge of spirit, of feelings, of emotions can entangle your thoughts to such a degree that even control over your own behaviour is compromised. It seems a most counterproductive specification. Yep. This also explains why my interactions with mortal subjects have produced more confusion than clarification. It presents a formidable barrier to understanding. Well, you're learning. Quack. Blip. My earlier hypothesis has been borne out. The suboptimal operation being conducted here is a result of emotionally compromised reasoning. I am ready to progress to my third and final query. Are we going to Ultima Fool? I would learn more about those referred to as ancients. It is clear that this group was a crucial factor of the final days, but the information contained in the report was insufficient to form an overview. Do you want me to bring you to help us? The Loporrits are creations of the ancients and are said to maintain repositories of their knowledge. By my calculations, the base of these moon dwellers will provide the best source of additional data. Teleport us to their burrow, Mariashna, preferably before my battery freezes over. Okay, so now we're on the moon. Back to Mare Lamentorum. Alva. Quay. Blip. Your teleportation spell was successful. We appear to have arrived at the location described as Best Ways Burrow. An inspection of the technology in use here would give me detailed insight into the ancients and their civilization. This body, however, lacks my previous frame's advanced observational functionality. I will require external assistance. No, it can't be. It is you! Oh, Mariashna, I've missed you so. What's this you brought with you? This soft, feathery vision. We've been outfluffed. Pack up the moon, it's all over. Why bother with burrow-building bunnies when you could walk around with this adorable avian engineer? Just bake me into a pie and be done with it. Really? Inspector Inventions? Wait, so you're not done with us? Ha! I wasn't truly worried, of course. And I certainly wasn't about to roll myself in dough and dive into Cooking Way's new oven. If a technical breakdown is what you need, then I am your Loporrit. As the residential atmospheric regulation expert, I can field any question or query you might care to pose. Blip. Acceptable. I will employ this being to guide me around the facilities. Your presence is not mandatory. Even locked within my current chassis, I am still an autonomous construct that has endured hundreds of your life cycles. I am capable of completing this simple objective alone. Okay. Oh wait, Growing Way, don't change his chassis. Don't upgrade him. Oh, I guess you're going with him anyway. Objective complete. But I'm the Growing Way. After my 50th questions, his responses began to suffer noticeable delays. By that stage, we had viewed a representative cross-section of Lockport Engineering, thus I deemed it unnecessary to retain his company. Conclusion. Extrapolating from the fraction of technology on display, the full spectrum of the Ancients' advancements was at minimum equivalent to a level 4 civilization, a fact which demands further investigation. Despite establishing a near-ideal society, these beings nevertheless harboured a weakness which invited self-destruction. In studying them, I stand to gain a greater understanding of Sir's anomalous decision. Is this to do with the message he sent out? Growingway informed me that another type of ancient-made entity exists upon this satellite, the one they call the Watcher. I would speak with him. Okie dokie. Blip. Then conserve your ether. We'll ride this Argus to our destination, as you have suggested. How's that going to work with you and Alpha? Oh. Well, okay. I don't suppose there are any Guardians around here, are there? I feel like there should be at least one or two after I did the whole role quest. Yeah, who knows? Right, where am I going? To the entrance. I really wish I knew what that bloody word said. Hi, Argus. Long time no see. Is pointedly ignoring the existence of Alpha and Omega. Quack, 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 quack. Bloop. Impedance detected. The creature identified as Argus refuses to acknowledge our presence. Hypothesis. Upon our arrival, Growingway expressed concern that he had been outfluffed. This suggests the existence of a fluff-based hierarchy. My station in such a system would be predictably low, but Argus is adamant in ignoring even Alpha. Its fluffiness level is impossible to gauge. Argus turns to you with an impassive gaze. It seems you will need to intervene. You're the fluffiest of them all, dear Argus. Argus gives an exasperated snort before motioning to his back. It seems you have permission to climb aboard. Blip, you have succeeded. You have secured the creature's permission. Curious, is it your fluffy tail which provides such exemplary standing in the hierarchy? I don't know. Bleep. I have allowed myself to become distracted. Let us continue on to the Watcher at once. If you're Vieira, would he say fluffy ears? Oh, that'd be funny. Hello, Watcher. How you doing, buddy? Quay. Quay. Blip, the Watcher located. An estimate of this being's height explains the inconvenient scale of Bestway's burrow. Yeah. I was bemused by the arrival of these small visitors, but I see that they are companions of yours. What a rare thing for my abode to be thus crowded. How may I be of service to you? Hello, Watcher. My purpose here is to learn more about the Ancients. I would know of their deeds, their philosophies, the very nature of their hearts, I would understand why the final days was visited upon my home star. A worthy endeavour, but there is another better suited to assisting you with that task. Perhaps you might favour us with a tale or two of the ancients you met during your travels, Mareshna. My fragmented memories would be a pale substitute indeed for the clarity of your more recent experiences. I'm not going to have to pick, am I? Yes, I can envision every detail. Your meeting with Vanar and Emetsalk and Hyplodeus. The sorrow and determination of Hermes. I am a creation of Hydaelyn, and as such, I believe the age of the ancients would fade and be forgotten. Yet knowing that their memory lives on so vividly within you, it brings me great joy. I pray that you keep them close to your heart. Oh, I don't think any of you bloody Final Fantasy XIV players going to forget bloody Emmet. At the time of your journey to the past, the one whose essence I embody would have been a scholar at Oneida. A shame. Had you reason to go there, perhaps you might have met. As a man of learning, he was firm friends with Vanar. They spent long hours trading theories, or debating the laws of the universe. I remember joining her faction as the final days bore down upon us. Yet, of the events surrounding that tragedy, I recall precious little. Hydaelyn wished for the people of your age to decide their own path. First, I suspect my recollection was limited by design. Yet even she could not cut away one persistent memory. I feel most distinctly, his sadness at what was to come to pass, that in becoming Hydaelyn's heart, Vanar would forever stand apart from the people she so loved. If she were so resolved in her convictions, then he too would share her sleepless vigil over the future yet to unfold. Thus was the vow he made to Vanar as her transformation took hold. His fervent wish must have reached her in some fashion, for though his life was drained away by the summoning, he was reborn with new form and new purpose when I awoke as Watcher of the Moon. And you heard, Mareshna. You felt. You fought. Hear, feel, think. And in seizing the future for yourself, have you brought full circle the saga which Vanar began. What you accomplished was no divine miracle. It was but the beacon of hope, passed down from one generation to the next. A succession of wishes and prayers, reshaping the star into the world we knew you deserved. You have our deepest gratitude. I thank you not only as myself, but as the man I once was, and on behalf of those who devoted themselves to Vanar's vision. Bloop. I understand the facts of your story, Mareshna, but not how you have chosen to process them. On what grounds do you speak of Vanar with such fondness? By sundering the world, she ultimately guided your kind to victory, yet in doing so caused irreparable damage to its individual members. The full scale of that act is beyond calculation, is evident, however, that it resulted in the protracted period of suboptimal existence for Emet-Selch and his brethren. Query. If the survival of your kind is a deciding factor of your evaluation, then should you not also admire Hermes and his decision to subject man to a trial, forcing you to change or perish, as was the fate of countless civilizations before you? From my perspective, his determination was similar to that of the Omicron's ancestors, those who first began trading flesh for machine, so that our people might stand against the onslaught of aggression from other races. It was an unprecedented attempt, accompanied by much failure and sacrifice. Their early experiments were crude, primitive. Had they not made those first advances, however, we would have remained vulnerable to our environment. The violence would have utterly consumed us. And what of Emet-Selch himself? Judging by your retelling, he was a benevolent ally, saddled with tragic fate. Yet I remember the years when my instruments fed me data from events across the entire star. During that time, I witnessed his Asians engineer multiple instances of cataclysmic strife. These calamities, as you know them, were responsible for planet-wide destruction. A man whose endgame relied on the extinction of all modern mortals must, by definition, be your worst enemy. Oh, I haven't forgiven him, but I understand him. I require an answer. As a being of heart and soul, how do you classify each of these pivotal figures? From your perspective, which of them was most justified in their actions? Don't give me a choice. Do not give me a choice. Do not give me a choice. Okay, at least I can do all or none. They're all justified in their own way. I pick option 3, all of the above. I think I understand. He's learning. You seek a definitive answer, yet based on our experiences, Mariash and I might develop very different opinions. In the same fashion, you're free to form your own thoughts on the matter. Do not be so swift to consider them without merit. I do not have my own thoughts on the matter. I assess each situation with the same logic pathways available to every Omicron. Even if 1,000 Omicrons were asked to analyze the same event, they would all return the same result, regardless of individual experience. There is no strength to be found in fractured reasoning. Nonetheless, I find your input valuable, recording data alongside interview results. This concludes my investigation into the incomplete elements of the final day's report. I will reanalyze the accumulated information and examine the factors which led to Sir's incomprehensible decision. Blip. Let us return to Fomazane. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. It was pleasant to hear your tales of Elpis. Should you ever need an audience familiar with the subject, I would be glad to listen to more of your recollections. Even with one's gaze fixed upon the future, we oftentimes find our thoughts drifting to the past. It is a shame that Heidelin never chose to speak of it. Yeah. Big with bigs in Fomazane. Am I nearly done? This has been a long quest. Let's see what time it is. Oh god, it's half 5. This is way beyond what I usually have recording times for. I'm surprised the house is kept as quiet as it is. You know what, I'll not tempt fate. I'll save Hildebrand for tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, Hellion Orchestra Part 2. That's if I can record the second Orchestra Tribe quest at 4 o'clock. Depends on what family's like, I guess. Right. Waiting for everyone to load. Dum-de-dum. Right. You had a fruitful trip, I hope. I am absolutely bursting to ask about your experiences with Omega, but I don't wish to be a pest. I will swallow my questions for now, and maintain my academic decorum. Besides, it seems our engineering friends are in a hurry to leave. Wedge, Marishna, I wasn't sure you'd be back in time. Omega, Blip, Alpha, Where, Biggs. Ah, there you are, right at the last moment. Your journey with Omega was properly educational, I hope. You can say that. We planned to ask you all about it and that mystery transmission besides, but I'm afraid something urgent has come up. Seems one of our Ironwork associates has fouled up a job elsewhere, and Jesse needs Wedge and me to rush in and lend a hand. There's an airship already waiting for us out in the harbour. In fact, do you think you could escort us there and talk as we walk? Blip. Acceptable. I'm fully capable of speech during ambulation. I figured you might be. Right, let's get a move on then. You're giving me Ultima Fool music? Screw you. Screw you. So, you've cleared up all those points of confusion then. Why is this auto-scrolling? I had mistakenly classified your intangible heart as an ability of some kind. An uncanny power that the Omicrons could neither learn nor even measure. Even now, its full nature yet eludes my comprehension. Based on our investigations, however, I have decided to alter my definition. A phenomenon which influences one interpretation of reality. Yeah, that sounds accurate. That is as close to an answer as I have found. Oh, I can actually click now. Accordingly, Sir's actions upon meeting Meteon strongly indicate the presence of a heart. Sir did not follow routine logic, but formulated an independent assessment based upon the reality it perceived. It felt that the best recourse for the Omicrons was to cease their expansion and terminate all functions. Well, here's our ship. We need to be going, but first I'll hold you to your bargain, Omega. It's time you told us what was in that transmission from the flight logs. Blip. Acknowledged. I will uphold the terms of our agreement. The recording salvaged from the Ragnarok was a simple one. The message is so basic, in fact, that the time spent listening to it may result in a net loss of value. Shall I continue? Now you're just teasing. Tell us the message already. Acknowledged. Converting dialect coding to local language. You give me the frickin' lyrics now. God damn you! You better tell me what it is. To whomever receives this message, out there in the vast reaches of the cosmos. To someone, I hope, who looks up at the stars with the same wistful gaze as mine. To you I say, forge ahead. May all our tomorrows be blessed with joy. Oh my god. And now I've got tears. Shit. A message of hope. This message had no designated recipient. It lacks purpose. The concept of joy is overly abstract. The vocal supplication to manifest said joy is unrealistic in its optimism. Yet, based upon their expressions, my assessment of the transmission's values conflicts with its apparent impact. And still, I fail to understand you, sir. Your heart still confuses me. Was termination of everything the correct course? How did you arrive at this conclusion? It defies all my attempts at reasoning. But I was designed to evolve. If I continue to learn, the probability that I eventually comprehend this phenomenon is greater than 0. So I will put the dilemma of your decision aside for now. Why didn't we take him to Ultima Thule and continue my existence upon this distant star? As I dwell among these many life forms, so will I continue to piece together the complete shape of their mortal hearts. I must document their progress. Damn. Quick way. One last step. Turn into Omega. Your contribution to my education is appreciated, Mariashna. Indeed, I've amassed a satisfying quantity of valuable data. Now that our negotiated business is complete, however, Alpha and I will return to travelling the world. Drawing on recent experience, I am confident we can expand the radius of our ventures by a significant margin. We need not limit ourselves to Eorzea. I am now familiar with Charlene and radz-at-han, and would also like to revisit the freezing climes of Golub. Bloop. I neglected to instruct Biggs and Wedge to upgrade my climate shielding. Blip. I will route my request to Deputy President Jesse, engaging ambulation and parting salutations. Farewell, Mariashna. Alpha gives a vigorous shake and draws forth a scrap of paper from under his wing. Where? It seems he wants you to have it. Perhaps this is his way of thanking you. Flow together. Orchestrion roll. What? Blip. Swiftly, Alpha. The road is long, and we have barely begun our journey. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added. Flow together. Let me check this music, and then I guess we'll end the video, and today's recording is on that. Huh. Flow together. Flow together. Soon as it wants to load. Dum-de-dum. I should get some food in the oven after this recording. When was the last time I had food? Lunchtime. So 5 hours. 6 hours-ish. 5.5. I keep forgetting, which one am I in? 5th ward. I should probably check the other wards to see if there are actually more mediums and larges available. Yeah. Alright, what is this music? Was it something I heard while in the quest? Let's see. A track. Below Cowls, right? No. Dungeons? No. Trials? No. Raids? No. Others? Flow together, flow together, flow together. There we go. Oh! Oh! Wait, no, play that. It's the music when you fought for Gnaw on the solo duty. Oh. It played too at the very end of the credits if you just let the credits roll. That's how they added this to the game. Have I got tears in my eyes again? You can't make me cry again, but you can definitely make me tear up. Well, I guess with that, I'm going to end this video here. Yeah, I'm going to end it here. Over here. Yeah, over here. Yeah, let's look. So, I think with that, viewers, I'm going to end this video here. This has been DragonofEternity going through more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Patch. My headphones are beeping. Okay, it's low on battery. I need to hurry this up. So this has been DragonofEternity going through Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker patch 6.15 content. In this video I finished up the Omega Beyond the Rift storyline. I finished the second quest and got this pretty music as an orchestra rental to play in my house. Lovely. Next time I have Hildebrand. I have 2 quests of Hildebrand. And then it's just the Aqua, Sedora and Emelions to do. And for that I need to do dailies and weeklies. Lovely. So yeah, pretty good addition for a patch. Got nice little story quests to have and dailies and weeklies to do. So yeah, next time, the return of Hildebrand. Fantastic. So, with that plan now, viewers, with my rambling hopefully now finally done, if my headset would shut up for a second, until next time.